Deep underground, in complete darkness, a blind and featherless newborn is committing a massacre. It has only been out of its egg for a few terrifying, chaotic hours. Yet it possesses a specialized, needle-like hook at the very tip of its tiny beak. It drags itself blindly across the nest, aggressively searching for the other unhatched eggs. It violently slashes at the delicate shells until every single one is completely destroyed. If any chicks have already hatched, it brutally bites and pushes them out. It does not stop fighting until it is the only living creature left. It leaves no survivors. This tiny, ruthless assassin will eventually grow into the greater honeyguide. A bird celebrated globally as humanity's greatest wild partner in the entire natural world. How could a creature universally famous for interspecies cooperation begin life as a murderer? The answer shatters a heartwarming myth that biology books have taught for 2 centuries. The story we all know about this famous bird is a complete lie. A lie built on bad science. To understand the truth, we must travel back to the year 1785. For generations, documentaries have told a beautiful story about a perfect biological alliance. A tiny bird leads a fearless, heavily armored honey badger directly to a beehive. The badger easily tears the hive apart and eats all the rich, golden honey. It then generously leaves the calorie-dense beeswax behind for the little bird to consume. It sounds like a perfect, beautiful fairy tale of African savanna cooperation. But scientists have never once captured this supposed partnership on camera. The honey badger is actually the worst possible partner the bird could ever choose. First, the honey badger is nearly deaf and has remarkably terrible eyesight. It cannot hear the bird's specific chattering calls, nor can it track its flight. The badger simply cannot follow it. Second, a hungry badger consumes everything it finds, including the honeycomb and the wax. It leaves absolutely nothing behind for a waiting bird to safely scavenge. The badger is actively digging for scorpions, ignoring the frantic bird completely. The legendary alliance between the badger and the bird is a pure biological illusion. The bird is not calling for the badger at all. It is looking for something else. It is looking for the most dangerous, intelligent predator on the entire savanna. It is looking for humans. For thousands of years, the honeyguide has maintained a powerful partnership with human tribes. It understands exactly what we are capable of doing to a massive tree. The Hadza hunter-gatherers use a specific, loud whistle to signal they are ready. When the bird hears this human whistle, it immediately flies out of the canopy. It flutters from branch to branch, actively leading the armed hunters through the forest. This is not a trained pet performing a trick taught by human hands. It is entirely wild. This wild bird has evolved specifically to communicate with our particular species. It knows exactly what tools the human hunters bring to the dangerous hunt. It knows they carry sharp axes and burning embers that create thick smoke. The humans use their tools to chop open massive trees and expose the hive. They use smoke to safely pacify the aggressive, fiercely stinging bees inside. The humans take the liquid honey, which is the only prize they truly want. But they always leave chunks of the thick beeswax scattered on the forest floor. The bird finally swoops down to eat the wax it could never extract alone. It is a perfect, flawless transaction. But this relationship is built entirely on taking what the other cannot reach. The bird does not love the hunter, and it certainly does not trust him. It simply uses the hunter as heavy machinery to break open a wooden fortress. We are just a biological tool. And when we look closely at how the honeyguide treats other animals, the truth emerges. The honeyguide exploits humans today exactly as it exploits other birds at birth. It is a master of relentless, highly effective behavioral manipulation. Remember the blind, murdering chick from the underground nest? The female honeyguide is a brood parasite, just like the infamous cuckoo bird. She never builds a nest, and she never incubates her own fragile eggs. She forces other birds to do the exhausting work of raising her demanding offspring. She sneaks into the dark burrow of a completely different bird species. While the host mother is hunting, she quickly lays a single, camouflaged egg. Then she immediately abandons her offspring, flying away into the vast savanna forever. She will never see it again. The host parents return and unknowingly incubate the strange egg alongside their own. The honeyguide chick always hatches a few critical days earlier than its adoptive siblings. And it immediately uses its hooked beak to violently secure its survival. By murdering its nest mates, it secures a complete monopoly on the parents' attention. The host parents return and tirelessly feed the very creature that destroyed their family. They simply respond to the loud, demanding begging calls of a hungry mouth. They are manipulated by instinct. Eventually, the honeyguide grows large enough to leave the dark burrow forever. Its terrifying hooked beak falls off naturally as it matures into an adult bird. It flies away, having successfully exploited an entire family for its own survival. This completely shatters the illusion of the sweet, cooperative little bird from children's books. The honeyguide does not form partnerships out of kindness or a sense of community. It forms partnerships purely to extract resources it could never reach on its own. First, it exploits the hard work and parental instincts of small, unsuspecting birds. Then, it exploits the incredible tool-making intelligence of human beings. It is a beautiful, ruthless strategy. Scientists believe this relationship with humans started long before modern cities ever existed. Our ancient hominid ancestors likely noticed the bird calling out near hidden beehives. Over hundreds of thousands of years, the two species slowly learned to communicate. The humans learned to follow the specific, chattering flight path of the tiny bird. The bird learned to recognize the distinct, loud whistles of the human hunters. This is one of the only known instances of wild animals actively recruiting us. The bird is not domesticated, and it has never been tamed by anyone. It is entirely wild, free to fly anywhere across the vast African continent. It chooses to use us. But it treats humans exactly the same way it treats its natural environment. We are simply a necessary, powerful mechanism to unlock the calories it desperately needs. It does not care about the badger. The badger was just a romantic myth invented by humans who misunderstood nature. The truth is far more complex and far more fascinating than the comfortable myth. Nature is not a fairy tale filled with unlikely, heartwarming animal friendships. Nature is a deeply pragmatic system of survival, adaptation, and calculated biological exploitation. Every single creature must use whatever advantage it possesses to survive another day. For the honeyguide, that advantage is the ability to manipulate the world around it. It manipulates host birds to raise its young in the dark underground burrows. And it manipulates human beings to swing axes and build fires in the forest. It is the ultimate opportunist. A tiny mastermind perfectly adapted to exploit the biggest creatures on the savanna. The next time you hear about the sweet friendship between animals, remember the honeyguide. Remember the blind assassin in the dark, and the calculated alliance with human axes. Survival is never a fairy tale.